This is the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jess.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's go, guys.
With us today
is
a mega champion. I could go on a laundry list of all the accomplishments, which we will get into in full effect. He's done so many things. We've seen him for over 2 decades in competition in sport martial arts. We've seen him in many different circles and areas, even the silver screen itself. We have with us the mega champion, Matt Emig.
Welcome, Matt. What's up, bud?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Dude, we're stoked you're on.
Yeah.
But we're not the only ones. You've been on a few different things. Like over the last week, you were a competitor in our Martial Arts Internetwork Fantasy Karate Draft.
Yes, you're on my team.
Yeah. That team did not advance, by the way.
No.
We're out.
Yeah.
You won, but the team did not advance.
Yeah, we got eliminated. Yeah, I know.
And then you were also on another podcast. You were also on Jackson's podcast earlier this week. So, man, you are like a hot item right now.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah. So how's everything? We've especially during this time, we've just been asking everyone, what's it all been like for you right now? These past, I guess, 6 weeks, 2 months, with you, with everything. What's work like? What's life like? What's going on in the world of Matt Emig right now?
Well, we're like everybody else. They shut down all film productions. Nobody. I don't want to work, and I don't. When we are allowed to go back to work, if I don't know, they're gonna have 1 million people on set.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. But I've just been keeping busy. I've been training, taking the time to do the stuff that I probably would not have time or not want to make time for. So I'm just trying to be busy every day, learn something new, train, keep in shape, and that's it.
Yo,
That's
Jeff
cool.
and I talked about that like weeks ago when this whole thing happened. Like, dude, if you don't come out of this thing with a new skill, like this is going to be a waste of time. So what's something new that you've been doing that's like totally different? Or something that you're redoing?
Yeah, so I'm learning how to cook.
Oh, all right.
I've been learning After Effects, which like pretty much visual effects. A lot of times when we do these previs in stunts, there's a lot of effects in it. So I've been learning After Effects. I've been posting some of them on Instagram, not all of them.
Yeah.
So I've been studying that. Just been shadow boxing and just trying to stay in shape.
That's cool, man. Yeah,
that is a challenging thing to do right now. I tell you what.
Yeah, I started a TikTok.
Yes, a lot did.
Yeah.
TikTok,
I'm
man.
just starting to realize don't call me a boomer or nothing. I'm just starting to really figure out what the tiki-taki is.
Yeah, I love it when you say that, the tiki-taki.
You got to go on for like a week to figure it out. It took me a couple of days. I didn't get it right away. I was hating on it, and then you start to enjoy it, you start to like it.
I think I follow like 3 people.
Yeah.
My buddy's wife is one of them. And that's pretty much the extent of it. I forget I have the app, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there's this thing on there. What is that? Oh, yeah. And then it's weird.
That's that's what Gary Vee says. He says just take 5 to 10 hours and just watch it and absorb and see what works, and then do whatever you want to do. That's what he says. So, hey, it works, I guess.
It's like half martial arts stuff, and then the other stuff is the other half probably just random things.
Yeah.
So you're like for real busy. So like you've been trying to cook. Are you any good?
I'm all right.
Like what's something you're doing? Like I gotta be honest with you. If you ask me like, Alex, you any good? No, I have a 3-year-old. I can make mac and cheese and hot dogs. I'm pretty good at that. That's about it.
I've made garlic shrimp. I've made beef with broccoli. I've made scallops.
All right.
Okay, now that's something right there.
Protein cake. I don't know if that counts. Also, I'm making some veggies and stuff just to snack on. Brussels sprouts, string beans, asparagus.
Yeah.
Just trying new recipes. I can make an old fashioned now. I never knew how to do that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, nice. I like
That's
it.
pretty good.
That's good stuff, man. So
Well,
you're
hey,
keeping busy. I know we are too. Our lives have been
Yeah, what do you guys
weird and crazy. I'm just trying to find ways to, how it is as you've seen other karate school owners, just finding ways to keep busy and keep their students focused on what's going on and trying to figure out when you can reopen. That's been a crazy thing. We were supposed to be able to open Friday. Now it's pushed back another week, but everyone's saying it'll probably be another week after that. So, you just kind of go with the flow and try new things. And I'm judging a lot of virtual karate tournaments, which is crazy.
dude, I love getting your messages after you've done some of these. Matt, have you been asked to judge any of these virtual karate tournaments?
I have not. I've seen a few.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised by
Um,
that, actually.
I may have you judge mine.
Yeah. Is there different tournaments, or there's just like one virtual tournament, or?
No, there's different tournaments. So
Apparently there's a lot.
some people have turned their tournament, because they're not allowed to have it anymore, into a virtual tournament, right? So like the Infinity Nationals, Mike Welch's tournament is that. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna announce it tomorrow or whatever and have it all set up. I'm gonna have the Grand Slam as that. And it's honestly, what's cool is like you're actually being judged the way we should have been judged for years. And that part is really cool, because with this, you don't have to fly someone out to your event. You can actually get people that are qualified for what they do, and you can get a technical score and then an authenticity score. Is like, all right, this was for creative forms. Technically, this person's martial arts is great, but was it really that creative, for that? So you give two different scores. So I really like it. Jacob Wolfman is really involved in that. And yeah, man, it's been fun. Last week though, I did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I was fried. I was like, all right, I've seen too much karate forms. I needed to take a little break.
Have they announced winners? Like, who's been the best so far?
Yeah, they have. So they put them out. They give you, they send your. There's been a lot of tournaments. Like now, it's kind of went overboard, but yeah, they haven't. So in mine, I think I'm going to do an actual grand champion, and we're going to do a night show. So we're going to live stream a night show of like the top 10 or whatever, and do that and have separate judges for that. But not everyone has done that yet. So it's just been divisional type things. So there's been some people that you see do all of them, and then you see a few that maybe will just, go here or there. Like some of the traditional tournaments, like the WKF circuit, they're getting a lot of people. They're getting like 400, 500 competitors doing it. So, and high level people. So we'll see how it goes with Sport Karate, the open circuit. So
Do you have to pay to enter these tournaments?
yeah, it's a lot cheaper. It's like $15 or $20.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's one of those. Sport Martial Arts is doing a live one that's free. With the live thing, you're talking about a whole nother, because everyone's, not everyone's internet is looking the same, so it's a little different. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of cool.
live seems like it'd just be way too hard to really pull off.
Yeah, you don't see it as clearly.
It goes from who has the best sponsorship to who has the best internet,
Right.
Bingo.
Quality.
That's pretty good. And maybe the internet could be the sponsor.
I'm going to get sponsored by, Infinity or whatever, Xfinity, sorry.
There you go.
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, so Matt, I've been thinking about this. So when I said like you've been around for over 2 decades, I'm not exaggerating. Like you really have, like at some of like the highest level, we've really seen you around that long. How did this all start? Now you're from New York, right?
Yeah.
And when tell me if I got it right. When I first remember seeing you, I think it was 2000. So you've probably been around since before that. I'm usually late to the party on a lot of stuff. Right? Yeah. So, and what was the team? I saw was it Team Karate Cares? Was that it?
Yeah, I started with Sidekick, and then
John. So your background until like the mid to late 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
So John Chung's team.
First time I saw him was what, 96 maybe was really when you started?
You might have seen me at Empire State Nationals in '96 because I didn't do NASCA yet, but that was like a big local tournament that we went to. I did like local tournaments. I actually started competing as a white belt when I was 5.
Right.
But it was just like in-school tournaments, local tournaments. And then in '97, we kind of discovered NASCA, but I did a couple tournaments. And then '98, I did the full circuit NASCA from '98 to 2012.
Right. Awesome. So yeah, I remember the first time, I'm thinking it was the first time you won at Empire, and it was it '97 or '98?
Probably neither. '97, I was in the show for a demo, like my school.
All right, that might have been it. All right, you were in the show for a demo, and you did the backflip with the and so everyone flipped out like, this is going to be the future. This guy's going to be the one. And then you really started like competing
And
more
you really
from
were.
there. Yeah, and it was cool because I mean, I never did well at that tournament. Empire State National was like one of the worst for me. It was just I never did well. And so that was one of the years that it was like not a dome, but like a big college university or whatever, like when they moved it to that, right? And I just remember that show. I remember you warming up and everything. And of course, with like, when you were coming up, you kind of like moved right into that group, all right? And when I'm talking about that group, I'm talking about like Butch Marks, myself, Anthony Atkins, all those guys that kind of like just hung out. Butch pretty much, Alex and I talked before, Butch pretty much ran the show.
Yes,
you know,
Butch runs it. He just tells everybody what's
and
going
he
on.
did,
Hey,
and it was like,
you're coming with me.
Hey, we like what you do. Come hang out with us. You know,
Exactly.
That's pretty much what happened. You guys were nice to me for whatever reason. I feel like I was just quiet. I didn't know anyone. I'm a little kid. I'm like 9. But yeah, that backflip spinning the nunchucks, that's what put me on the map. That was like the move that got everybody excited and started getting me popular.
How did the nunchucks start? I mean, other than they're just cool, and when you're a little kid, everybody wants to do them. When did you really start using nunchucks? And how did that become a good thing?
Yeah, before I started martial arts, I had all these toy weapons. You know, like you can go to the toy store and get a ninja sword. You can get, the Ninja Turtles were out. So I had sais, nunchucks. I had every weapon. And I really like the nunchucks. I like swinging them around. I used to also have a jump rope, and I would swing that. I just like twirling it for some reason. I don't know why, but there's like footage that my mom has. There's the home footage.
I think you posted one like a year or so ago. It was like one of the funniest things ever. It was awesome.
Some toy nunchucks. I used to swing this jump rope around too. I don't know why, but so yeah, wasn't properly taught or anything. I just would copy stuff that I've seen in the movies, and I would just twirl them around. And then I started martial arts when I was 5. And then after a few years, I don't think I started doing nunchucks until I was like 7 or 8, like officially.
Nice.
And then another year before I was like pretty decent, where I was like the Chuck guy,
Right.
Well, we were talking about this last week. We were talking about this, and this is when you were in the fantasy sport karate draft in the Martial Arts Center Network that we're a part of. Jeff and I were talking about it. Well, Jeff really mentioned it. The best nunchucker in sport karate history. And I can't disagree with that statement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to think of the guy who would be second. Jeff, I can't think of anybody.
This person didn't do sport karate, but you got to give credit to Bruce Lee. He's that style.
Yeah.
Everybody does the one chuck, double chuck.
Right. You got to give credit to him. Lee Barden would be another one. Of course.
Lee
Barden has some cool stuff.
He didn't compete, you've been previewed to some of the like pre-show talk now, Matt. A couple of weeks ago, someone brought up Bruce Lee. Let's go like this. A lot of people would be upset if they heard that pre-show talk about Bruce Lee. I'll tell you right now. No, we better not even get into it. Not going to get into it.
That'll be another show.
That'll be another show.
But yeah, we'll go ahead since we're talking about who are some of did you have anyone you looked up to with the nunchucks? And then throughout, like, who would you say would be other ones that really, have pushed the level in nunchucks?
Yeah, so there's this guy, Ken Swam, at my karate school. So I was maybe like 7 or 8, and he's probably like 16. And he had a lot of the cool moves that you see me do today. He was doing them first, and then I was copying him. He was showing me how to do it. And then he introduced me to this movie called Sidekicks. in the movie Sidekicks.
Yes.
Oh,
Chuck
dope.
Norris movie. This dude has like these fantasies, right? He like goes into these visions or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Competing in this tournament. For the people that don't know, he's doing one chuck. It's kind of corny, and then he like has this vision. He turns into this ninja, and he's doing double chucks. And there's a lot of cool moves like over the head double diagonal strikes and the looping 8 figure eights. I got from that movie, and that was Wayne Nguyen who doubled him, who competed in NBL and a bunch of tournaments. So I studied that video for a while. And then the guy Ken at my school, he started taking those moves and like taking it to the next level. Like he was doing the looping eights, spinning around and adding hand rolls and stuff. So then I just kind of took that and ran with it, and then just trying to imitate him. I feel like I did it a little bit different. Being younger and just trying to copy, and then I kind of developed my own stuff, and then it just kind of evolved into my own style. I just kept building on it. And then as I started doing NASCA, my forms became more NASCA-like, because you have like that. You just look like a typical karate school guy doing your form. I didn't know about like intros and for the judges, certain angles and different sections. I didn't really know how to piece that together. So once I learned how to do that, applied it to my chucks, my style just kind of came together. And then one thing that a lot of people don't do, they come up with something brilliant and then they kind of just leave it. And then that's like their theme forever. So my thing was like backflip spinning the chucks. No one ever did a flip and spun their weapon. Then from there, I did like a flash kick or a half twist. Then I started doing B-twist. Then I started comboing. Then I started hitting them like between my legs, passing them through my legs. Just trying to like constantly evolve the style. Same with like my manipulations, the finger rolls, the releases. Just constantly trying to like level up, And I don't know. It just kind of came together, and then.
Well, I think that's one of the things that kind of separates you from a lot of just extreme martial arts, whether that's just extreme or it's weapons, is really your creativity and your choreography. I think that's really what separates you. So you started to mention that when you talked about like, I didn't really know like really how to format everything, but I think formatting it, and you didn't use that language, I'm just going to paraphrase it.
No, definitely formatting. Yeah.
Yeah. But really the way that you did that, it kind of seemed to always evolve. Like you said, you started like in the mid 90s and you went till 2012.
Right.
I feel like we always saw an evolution every single time. There was always something new. There was always just a little bit something extra each time. I'll never forget. And when you did your forms, it was for a finals, and you attached freaking lights to the end of your chucks.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
2001.
This is brilliant. Why has nobody ever thought of this?
Yeah, those rave lights
fantastic.
were popular.
Yeah.
Dude.
Someone had them. I taped them.
Yeah. What was that? Was that literally just a little tiny light? What is that?
Yeah, they were these little lights that you're supposed to hold, and you like rave and dance, whatever. And then I just taped them to the bottom. And then actually, I remember I was mad at myself because if you look like in the beginning of my form, this is like when everyone used to do these really long intros. I was setting up because I only had 2 lights. You have 4 handles on your chucks. Double chuck. So I was trying to make sure I grabbed the correct handle. So I spin it.
Oh yeah.
But one of the handles I grabbed correct, and the other one I did not. And then I was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it didn't matter. But see, from our vantage point, we're looking at you. We're already looking up because you're on the stage, and your martial arts, your karate techniques are already super clean, which is another thing that we'll talk about that separates you from other extreme martial arts competitors. You're already doing extreme martial arts. You're already doing chucks. You're one of the faster martial artists. Now we see literally lights flashing in front of our eyes. It didn't matter at that point if you grabbed the right one or the wrong.
It was just cool. Yeah.
Yes.
It just
we were
elevated
mesmerized by the light.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun, man. And again, I think part of that was just the time when we were coming up, like we all had to create something, like I just remember like for me coming up, it was Valera, Carmichael, those guys. And every time it was something new, some new big move, right? And then as we kept getting older, it was Butch and Anthony Atkins and those guys. And it was like, how can everyone kind of, how can you create your own thing, to stand apart? And you did that very well. And the thing is, though, is like you are known so much as like the guy. And I mean, I've seen them all, and I still put you up there as my 1 or 2, and a lot of that's just I've seen you come as a kid, And I mean, I'm not that much older than you, but you know, but still, it's like, you know, and just the respect you've always had for everybody, you know, for myself, for others, for everyone, ones that came before you, the ones that you're teaching, and I think that really just, I always put you at a very high level in that. But where was that, you know, during that time, like, everyone thinks Matt Damon won everything. And in a lot of ways you did, but you had some weird, like, you had a roller coaster ride during this thing, man. And so who were maybe your first tough competitors that people may not even know their names, you know?
In the beginning, it would be Gemma Nguyen and Al Safransky. They used to whoop me in
Right.
the division. I wouldn't make it out of the division. Gemma
Right.
for weapons and Al for forms.
Yeah.
That's when it was combined, boys and girls,
When
too.
boys and girls were combined.
Yeah.
Open and tradition were combined. There was just one forms division, one weapons division, and one sparring. You could only do 3 divisions.
Yeah.
There's like a million.
Now you can do 412.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it started with them. Then I guess they split the divisions. Boys and girls were separate. Who would be next? Nick Begley, Wayne Douglas.
Right.
Then
Yeah, I mean, even before that, I was, all right, you beat him in weapons, but I'm trying to remember, like, one of my teammates, Jonathan Hillman, you guys were like,
Jonathan
he won
Hillman.
a bunch for a while.
Yeah, Jonathan Hillman, forms and weapons.
Right.
There was Jonathan Hillman, Al Safransky, and Gemma. I would say that'd be my main competition in the beginning for the division.
Right. That was what, 10-year-old division, right?
Yeah, we were in 9 and 10, and then that was when they changed it to 10 and 11. So I was in that division for like 3 years.
Well, speaking of the beginning, let's talk about that. How did the beginning of this start? Because a lot of people, we get a chance to see them, and we figure out, like, all right, they started with this team. We saw them on a school team, then they get picked up, and then it kind of evolves. But so many people, and so many of our listeners maybe haven't seen you compete, or maybe they have, but don't remember how it all started. How did it all start?
Well, I was doing local tournaments. I was just representing my karate school.
What is that karate school too?
World Karate Academy.
Cool.
Yep.
And
that's in, where is it? Long Island?
Long Island, New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
World Karate Academy, Crystal Lasso.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back that I remember.
And then my mom's like, we should go to a big tournament, a national tournament. So we went to Ocean State. That's like the next biggest tournament, the closest one to New York, or at that time that we knew about. It's in Rhode Island. We went there, and that's when we discovered NASCAR and all these people, all these top forms competitors, the top fighters. And I just, that was my first time exposed to it all. And then from there, they were signing people up for this camp, Macho Camp. And it was actually in New York. So my parents signed me up. And it was Pedro.
What year was this at that point?
96.
Wow.
So
okay. I remember this.
I trained with Pedro Xavier, Mike Chat, Christine Bannon. Those were the 3. And then there was a Taekwondo camp going on. Juan Marino, Herb Perez, a bunch of other people.
Oh, dope.
Sometimes we would do plyometrics with them in the morning. Like they'd merge the camps. We'd do plyometrics. Cool. That's my first introduction to plyos.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like, it was pretty awesome. Like I got to spar Pedro. I was 8, But that was pretty amazing to be like, oh my gosh, I'm standing next to this man and he's like giving me tips and like he's sparring me, And then Mike Chat was teaching us, and that was like the first time I had an open hand form made up. It was like the camp form he made up for everybody, and you're able to customize it to your own skills. And then I guess I just stood out, so they asked me to perform on 4th of July with them. I was like the special.
What?
But it didn't even make sense because I wasn't even that good. There's footage of it too. It's online.
They just wanted to see you do the back flip while spinning the chucks.
No, I couldn't do it yet.
Oh, then never mind. You had nothing. I don't know.
Yeah. They liked me. But I performed with them. So Pedro did flying commas.
Yes.
Christine did the whip chain.
Whip chain and the sword, yeah.
Ike did his comma form, which I think was like right before the U.S. Open. And I think that was like one of the forms he got like all 10s or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, something like that. Well, yes, I went to that camp. Then we went back to Ocean State the following year. Still had no team. Still didn't know like what a seed was. Actually, after Ocean State, I went to Capital Classics. Right. And I was a tournament black belt. So I wasn't even a black belt yet. My instructor gave me permission to put a black belt on, compete in the black belt division. Because before that, I was winning everything in underbelts. And I made it. There was no run-offs. I remember I made it to the night show. This is the first time I was in the nighttime show. And I remember Charlie Lee's like, he doesn't know who I am, so he's asking me questions so he could, do the commentary and everything. And he was the announcer. And then he was like, "What are you ranked?" I thought he meant like belt-wise. So I thought I was busted. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not even a black belt." He called me out on it. I don't have my diploma here, But he meant in NASCA what are you ranked, I wasn't even registered in NASCA yet. So I didn't even understand the question. And then I told him I wasn't in NASCA. He was kind of shocked that I made it that far. Like I won. I beat the seeds without even being seated, Because usually you have to be seated to win.
There you go, guys. You hear it? It is possible. Bust your tails. You can do it.
You can do it.
But I only made it to the show because there was no runoffs. Sometimes back then, they would skip runoffs. They would just take like top 8 or 9, whatever. I had to go against Joey Greenhall, Jimmy Tham. I forget who else, but
that was a dope time.
Yeah, 96. That was cool.
That was nice. And then I don't know. Then I got on Karate Cares. That was like a New York team. I was on John Chung's team. They had sponsorship. I had to try out for that. Then from there, I was on Mike Chat's team, Team Chat Elite.
Yeah.
After that, I went back to Team Karate Cares. They had Anthony Atkins, some other people. Things were popping off. And then I was on Daniel Sterling's team. I was on a lot of teams.
Yeah. So how did what team were you on before Daniel Sterling's team? Was that Karate Cares or what was it?
Karate Cares. I was with the black.
So on Karate Cares, there was a number of you guys on there, forms competitors, and fighters, right? All from like that general area. But how did the DS thing happen? Because I think it was 2001 when Daniel Sterling decided he's going to create Team DS, right?
Yeah, Daniel just decided to create a team. I had no team at the time. Karate Cares was done. And
so it was perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. And then he just picked up some people in that area.
Right.
Yeah. That one time, myself, Matt Cato, Daniel Sterling, of course.
Anthony Murata.
Anthony Murata, yeah. Yeah, we used to train together around that time too.
Yeah, Asian Ant.
That dude was good.
I'm trying to think who else. Robbie, right? Was Robbie on there?
Matt Cato.
Yeah. Matt Cato.
Yeah, we said Matt Cato. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that was a cool team. I remember, man, when that was coming out.
I remember seeing the guys on that team, and I just remember thinking, because you were right when you said like it was a bunch of guys you guys just didn't have a team, or you didn't have a team anymore. And I remember looking at the team and like everybody on the team just thinking, that's just a team of all cool dudes. Like everybody's just kind of cool. The only thing you were missing was Butch Marks.
Right.
You guys just had a level of cool above everybody else.
It's true. It's true.
So you were on
it kind of kept
DS. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just saying, it kind of kept going too, even when everyone kind of left and went on to something else. Like that crew kind of still stuck together, and that's what was cool about
than a team. People represent teams sometimes, and they're just for a sponsorship, or they're just trying to be a part of the team for whatever reasons. So it's like political reasons, to advance you. But I think we were more of a crew, and that's why like when we left and went different places, we still were that crew,
Right. Yeah.
And then when did the Paul Mitchell thing happen? Because that was the next team you were a part of, correct?
Yeah, Daniel got on Paul Mitchell like the same year he started the team.
I know, that was really interesting.
Probably like halfway through. Yeah, but it was cool. Like he was on Paul Mitchell, like, all right, Paul Mitchell, whatever, run his team. And then at the end of that year, that's when I first started. Because for a while, I would like make every night show and lose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I should have won every night show, but a bunch of them I should have won.
Yeah.
And then the ones where you probably don't deserve to win, you feel like you should have won because you never win.
Yeah.
Hope. And, I related to like The Rock. I was watching a lot of WWF back then. He was the people's champ. So I felt like I was the people's champ,
Yeah.
I never won. Like when you watch SmackDown every week, I don't know if you guys ever watch WWF, but every week he would compete and then like he would get sabotaged somehow. Someone would hit him with a chair, or they would cheat and he would lose. Every week he was up for like a title match and it never worked out. So that's kind of how I felt every tournament. I'm like, I'm just going to be for the people. I'm just going to entertain the crowd, get everybody hyped. And if the judges aren't going to give it to me, whatever, So that was kind of my vibe for a while. Then I started winning. I won a couple times here and there. And then by the end of 2001, I was kind of like, I don't know, Paul Mitchell picked me up for 2002. And then I didn't like it because then I'm on Paul Mitchell and you're the guy. And you always win because you're on Paul Mitchell. Paul Mitchell guys always win. And I didn't like that vibe. All of a sudden it switched on me. I'm like, what? People don't like me? For what reason? Because
There
I'm
you
on.
go. Yeah, welcome. Yes, that's exactly how we felt.
Because
Correct.
I'm like, yo, this sucks. So then that kind of motivated me to just be for the people again, like do entertaining stuff, even if it meant losing. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change my form. I already know the form that I ran the last few tournaments could probably win, but I want to try something fresh, something new.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was when you really,
you know, it challenges you and pushes you, and it pushes your competition because that's really where you get your respect from your competition. And when your competition doesn't respect you, and you know those vibes where you're in the ring and you're like, this guy won, you know, you want them to respect you. So to me, it's not just winning from the judges because they're biased half the time. Half the time they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
So I want my peers to respect me. I want my elders, the people I looked up to respect me. The people that look up to me, I want them to respect me. You know, so sometimes I would win, but I would ask everybody, what did you think? Did you think?
Yeah.
And that meant more. That was more important to me than the actual judges.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I got a question then. I got a question. Because you just dropped a bunch of bombs. You really did. For anybody listening who's on the come up for competing in forms, just listen to this, rewind, listen again, rewind, listen again, and soak that stuff up.
Yep.
So you talked about you just kind of something like you were the people's champ. Like I can't envision. It would be strange to me if somebody, even wearing the Paul Mitchell, didn't like Matt Emig. That would be strange to me because when you said I've just felt I was the people's champ. I kind of think, you were. But let's say you're not the people's champ. Let's say it's somebody else. Who is that?
Sammy Vasquez at the time.
Okay.
Sammy came out. This is when it's Paul Mitchell versus Straight Up. Team fight.
So 2005, 2006, 2007.
No.
For that, 2003.
All right, they weren't good in 2003, 2004.
No, but Sammy was.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
Like I'm not a fighter, so you guys are gonna know more than me. But it always felt like it was Elite, Paul Mitchell, or maybe CJB. I forget the years when you guys switched.
Yeah.
Elite, CJB, Paul Mitchell, Straight Up. Straight Up was like I remember so many times Raymond was on Paul Mitchell, and he had to go out to save the day to win.
Yeah.
Like we were down by a lot, and everyone screaming like, "No mistakes, no mistakes." You know, he'd be perfect. So it was like this big Paul Mitchell Straight Up. Don Rodriguez, Joe Greenhall, the adults competing against each other. And then for juniors, I was the only one that year, 2003. Everyone else moved up.
So it's interesting you mentioned Sammy, and I agree with you. Sammy was the truth. So I'll never forget the U.S. Open that the two of you had. Yeah. Somebody called it the War.
The War.
And it really was. It was the U.S. Open 2003, and I remember being in that tournament just so tired because I had just pulled like an all-nighter. It was some crazy, not anything like, I'm going out and partying type of stuff. It was just a bunch of drama I had to deal with before I got on the plane to go there. And luckily I didn't have to compete that Friday night, right? But I remember just being there just tired and just you and Sammy, the crowds around you guys, because you guys competed against each other 3 times that tournament, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so we would go against each other in musical format night and then Saturday. Back then, that was before Creative Extreme. It was just musical, non-musical.
So musical, open, and then
open
finals.
Runoffs, yeah.
We'd do a runoff, so we'd go against each other again, and then the nighttime show. So you had a constant, and then
so you got 4 times, really?
Yeah, 4 times. And he was boys with Mark. Mark was one of my toughest competitors that year. So it was like them 2 versus me. Paul Mitchell versus Straight Up.
Yeah.
I'm the only junior. So you know what? A lot of times the other team members didn't want to get up on Saturday morning and come to watch me do one form.
Well, because especially they were fighters. I'm going to tell you right now, none of them wanted to. They don't want to get up before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, they don't want to get up.
I'm a vouch for them.
And even men's form, they don't start till 11 o'clock. I'm there at 8:30 warming up. And a lot of times Sandy would beat me on Friday night. So I had one shot to win this division, to make it to the finals, to make it to runoffs and then the finals. So, sometimes I felt like I was by myself, and then again, it's not just the judge's vote. Like you need that to advance, but also the worst possible thing to me is when the judges give it to you and everyone in the crowd's like, ah, Sammy should have won, or whoever
Yeah.
you're going against.
Oh
Right.
man.
Right. Yeah.
You don't feel
Yeah.
like a winner,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And the best feeling sometimes is when the judges don't give it to you, you lose. But everyone's like, boo. Like one time I remember Diamonds, everyone was booing for my scores. And you could actually see back then they would video the judges giving the score. So you could see who was doing it. And you'd see
Who
them
was?
hold up a low score. And everybody
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm like, yeah, in your face, you know, like you didn't want to give it to me, but whatever. So again, it's not just the judges, it's like the people you respect, your fellow
Right.
martial artists who are also training. Everyone's working hard to go to these tournaments.
Yeah.
So I respect them more than probably the judges and promoters. And that's probably wrong to say, but
Well, no.
I would say that's accurate.
I'm the same thing. I've said that several times on here. It's like, how do you not just translate to get the judges to, see what you do, but like everyone else, and like there's some great forms out there, but if no one is watching you, it really doesn't matter. Like you could have the best form in the world, but no one wants to even turn and look at and watch you. Like they don't know. So you gotta get them going from the beginning, and that was something you did, Butch did. I know I eventually did. We always just try to find ways to get people hyped, even with our intros or whatever it was, if it was the music, whatever. And I always called you the great one because again, it was the rock thing, that we always did. And so all of us were like that. I mean, all of us were into wrestling. So we were trying to find every little thing we could do to make it like as much WWE like we could, and it was fun, man. It was, so yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, the Matt Sammy thing rivalry that went on for a while, it was like,
how many years would you say that went on?
Well, 2003, we had like legit beef. Like we did not like each other.
Oh, for real?
Oh,
His
right.
I didn't know it was like that
shit
though.
To me, my boys would talk shit to him, like people. It wasn't just like go Sammy. It was like get him, Sammy, get him. And then my guys are hyping me up. They're like punching me, and we're like, let's go. It was like a legit beef. I feel like, and that's why they called it a war. And then they would also post on sportmartialarts.com. You'd get to vote.
Yeah.
I should have won. So there's obviously people vote. So just because you win doesn't mean you're actually a winner. Like you have to get.
But it wasn't even sportmartialarts.com then. It was MassLink.
MassLink.
Right?
MassLink. But yeah, that went on 2003. Then we became friends at the end of the year, and then we weren't as competitive in 2004. And then we realized like, yo, we need to get more competitive. We could be friends, but in the ring, we had to be competitive. So.
Was that an unspoken thing or a spoken thing?
No, it was spoken. Like we would actually call each other sometimes and leave each other voicemails and just talk shit. And be like, yeah, I'm gonna
be like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, we're homies, but
yeah,
when I see you next weekend, I'm gonna pretend like you just kicked my dog.
Yeah, no, basically we had an understanding, so it wasn't like, what? You left me a voicemail, and we were just, I don't know, we just.
That's pretty dope. I like that.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah, that reminds me a lot of the day. Because again, when we talked before about the year 2000 and 2001, and just the different rivalries, NBL, NASCA, and how just every place was blowing up. And Daryl Lewis and I were the same way. We were like best friends, but we were going at it. It's like, hey, we're both trying to do something, and then. When we went over to NASCAR terms, it's the same thing. We're like, we want to beat Steve Tirada, like, come on, like it's the same thing. But we're all hanging out afterwards. But you also like, you got to battle. Like that's the point of it,
I think that's more important. Rivalries. You need to have someone pushing you, even if you're losing. Because if you go back years ago, there was divisions where if you took 8th place, you were nasty.
Yeah.
Like. 1 through 8 was amazing. If you placed, you were like, I feel
mean,
like
yeah.
If you got your name called. If you got your name called.
Yeah, you got your name called.
Yeah.
Like some of those divisions, if you took 8th place, like I feel like they could take out a first place competitor today.
Right. Yeah.
Have I not been saying that, Jeff?
No, you said the other thing. You said someone today who got 5th place could beat someone who won the year before. You said the opposite. So, haha.
Is that not exactly what you just said?
No, he's saying someone back then eighth place back then could beat someone today because we had way more competition.
I agree.
Okay,
with
well, here, the only way I'll say that's actually true, Matt. The only way I'll say that that's actually true, because I'm about to vehemently disagree with you. The way I'll say that that's true is because so many things were combined. All right? Boys and girls were combined.
Yeah.
Creative, extreme, and traditional were combined. So you basically had 5 divisions today into one, or 5 or 6 divisions into one.
Right.
And the age divisions weren't even as much.
It'd be like Stephanie Flowers versus Anthony Atkins. They're completely different.
Yeah, completely different. But
styles,
all together. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that is true. That is true.
And then John Sue would be up next.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, it's like I remember when the creative division started, that 2004 year, that men's 18-plus creative division, we had like 20 to 25. And honestly, if I got in the top 8, I was kind of like, all right.
Nobody knew how to
really. No one knew how to do it. And I remember being like, getting 5th, being like, all right, I want to win. I think I have the best form, but that's still pretty good, unseeded. And, it's like, it's one of those things, and at the U.S. Open every year, that division was, let's go ahead and get in that. I know I said I wanted to talk about that, but what do you think about the creative division? You were around when that kind of started.
So it started in 2004.
Did you like it before, after? You had some success in it. You had some rivalries in it. Like, what do you think?
I always liked the creative forms division. It was so much easier than doing an extreme. It was so much more fun. I could do longer hand combos. I could do more stuff. I don't save my energy. Less likely to slip on something because it's more basic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just about being creative.
I think you have a better advantage, though. You specifically. And Jeff and I talked about what we talked about last week. We think you are the cleanest tricker and extreme forms competitor.
Thanks.
That I can bring up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the cleanest ones. I think Matt, number 1. Marcel Jones.
Marcel, yeah.
David Douglas. I say 1, 2, or 3. You all are interchangeable. Like that. But as far as extreme tricking, oh no. You got it. Hands down.
Yeah.
Right? So, but so that when you say like, oh, it's easier, I think it's easier for you. Listen, tell me I'm nuts if I'm nuts. You're not going to be the first. You're not going to be the last to say that. I think when 2004 hit and they created there's no more open forms division. There's creative, there's extreme. That immediately was the downfall of the progression of competition forms, because from that point, the actual creativity started to demise. And what happened is people started looking at the creative form division as well, do we disqualify him or not? Like, you want us to dance on the edge of what's allowable or what's disqualification. But if you take one toe over that edge, bang, all we're looking for is a way to disqualify you.
Yeah, they need to fix that. I mean, I made a video for them in 2013 because I'm like, I don't think you guys are aware of certain moves that are like borderline. Sometimes you count this move, then you don't count this move. Technically, this is way more spins and you're upside down, and this is what you should be looking for. And I sent it to the promoters and they didn't do anything with it.
Oh,
you can put it on private on YouTube.
They don't listen to us.
Yeah, and you can see how many views it gets, and it got like 2 views. I think John is like the only one who did.
Wow.
I don't really care.
Well, how about this? I'll tell you this one. I don't know if you remember this, Matt, but there was one time where you were my judge.
Was I?
I'll explain it. Now, if I tell you the panel of judges that this men's creative form division had, Jeff, it'll make your mind flip. Matt Emig, Daniel Sterling, Charlie Lee.
Oh, I like that.
2007 New England Open.
Wait, what's her?
2007 New England Open.
2007 New England Open. I was judging
that.
I'll
never forget this, and I'll explain why I'll never forget this. Listen to this stuff. It's the men's creative form division. All right. To this point, I hadn't actually competed in creative forms or extreme forms in a few years, probably like 3 years. Right. So I've done it. Now I'm doing creative forms, and it's okay. Now I do an illusion twist. which Matt, you will know, is not an extreme move, correct?
Yeah.
It's not an extreme move. Charlie Lee, after the whole division's over, Charlie Lee goes, do that move again. And I'm like, do what move again? We had an argument in the middle of the ring. And he says, no, I want you to do that move again. And I said, the division's over. And he says, no. I want to judge to see whether that's creative or extreme. He's looking for a reason to disqualify me, not for a reason to judge my performance. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after the end of it, I'm like, man, whatever. He could just say, the heck with you and disqualify me if he wanted to. I'm not the only guy he did that to. He did that to 3 other guys.
Yeah. Charlie.
Spoiler alert, none of us won
division, man. That was his division, like
he was the reason that whole thing started.
Yeah.
I mean, so one of the things that I see with it, so I think some people used it as a positive and really kind of went really creative, like Matt did. Marcel took that division to another level, like for me, I wouldn't have done the kicks on my knee without having that creative division. Be like, all right, you're saying really be creative. I just think that they titled it wrong for what they actually wanted it to be. They didn't want it to, when originally what Charlie told me was like, we want to see the forms from 1990. That's pretty much what they said. No spins, this, that. We want to see karate forms. But then don't call it creative. Just call it like American or whatever, or whatever.
American Hardstyle, like what American Hardstyle was.
Yeah, or something like that. But if you want creative, for me, it's like, and making a martial arts division, don't limit the martial arts part. Limit the tricking and the gymnastics, So I think you can do as many spins as you want as long as it has a martial arts element into it. For me, I like that better because, again, what has happened now, it's like you see everyone, they have the same form. I have to hit my 5 top-level tricks in creative, your butterfly kick, your illusion kick, your jump outside, whatever it is, your really end up being an Audubon, all that stuff. And to make sure you have it, and everyone's form looks the same, and then except a few who stand out, And then the problem is they set you up in the finals to where you're not judged. You're judged as like someone who sucks because of the division you won, and that's not fair. It's like
not whatsoever. So, and the people watching the finals that don't know what division you won, they look at the person like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, a few times I won creative and only creative, so I had to do creative, and people
looked at you like you were crazy.
Yeah, like, why'd you do that?
See what I mean?
Yeah, why didn't you do your flips?
Matt,
why didn't you do
really,
it? Yeah, so
you agree with us, don't you? You agree with us that the creative forms division was a bad move.
No,
you just
yes
had success with it.
I think it was a good idea to have a creative forms division, but I think they need to clear up the rules.
Yeah.
And I don't like how everything's broken up in the I get it. It's like comparing apples to oranges, traditional and open and creative, and it's really difficult. Like we just talked about, going up. Everyone thinks I'm about to do some flips, and then I do a tornado kick, bam, bam, jump front kick. It's a completely different vibe. It's a little unfair. I think they just need to fix the rules, but I think everything was more competitive years ago when everything was mushed together. So I think they need to fight. It's too watered down. Everyone has a Warrior Cup. Everyone's a world champion. Everyone wins first place.
It's crazy, man.
Easy. Triple Crown. I don't even know what that means, but it's probably pretty easy to get. They got to make them a little bit hard to win these titles. I don't know. It doesn't mean the same because it's not.
No, it doesn't.
A title 10 years ago is different than it is now. I have one Warrior Cup. Only one. I wish I had another one. So
when did you win it? Was it 05?
No, 1999.
Yeah. 99.
Get out.
Yeah.
Here's how I had to do to win it. I had to compete in 17 and under weapons, no seeds, random drawing. I had to go against everybody, boys, girls, 17 and under. Then there was I won that. That was really tough. Then they had a 17 and under forms division. Daryl Lewis won that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a 17 under traditional forms division. And then us three went against each other in the night show. And then that year, they only give out 3 Warrior Cups.
Right.
And you won it.
Juniors.
Yeah.
There was one for adults and one for men's sparring. Women's sparring didn't even get one.
Right.
You know, there's only 3. They should have been 4, but
That
there's only
was, is that 99 or 2000? Because
99.
Daryl,
And then
okay. All right. So
my
Daryl must
first
have been there both years. Yeah. I know that was when it was an NBL tournament. Yeah.
was an NBL tournament. And then
Yeah.
my first NASCAR world title, they only gave out 7 weapon titles total. 1 for men, 1 for women, and 5 for juniors, 10, 11, 12, 13, all that. I think I got 10 and 11. So I was one of 7 winners. Now you're like one of, I don't know how many. They just make it easier, which is fine. I think they do need to break it up, but then they also need to make it harder. And they need to make like one super division or super
Yeah.
rank or something.
Right. Right.
Really
Yeah.
hard
Like,
for that.
kind of like they do an open weight division in sparring. They kind of need to do that for forms, like a forms one and a weapons one. I mean, that would be cool, but that's what the grands is supposed to be. But they've even broken the grands up to where it's just
And
like
I
too
actually
much.
think, Jeff, I think we agree with this on this one. Like, it's okay to, like, all right, if you want to break those grands up, but then eventually have those people face off,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Break them up, but then they should face off.
this
Yeah,
is still go down
That
to
was
the
something
one
that
guy.
Compete used to always do for the medallion, which is always cool. They put the winners against each other. I don't know if they still do that or not. Did they do that this year? Weren't you there this year, Matt?
Yeah, they still do it, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't see it tonight show.
Yeah. It's
Now,
not one of my favorite ones.
Speaking of the awards, because we talked about this last fall because the diamonds happened and there was a lot more diamonds. A lot more diamonds that were given out. And it was just shocking to us because it's like, all right, this tournament wants to do it, this tournament wants to do it, but the diamonds never really did it. And I remember 4 years ago when they did, all right, they split the light and heavy for the men's fighting diamond. It was like, whoa, that was pretty taboo. Like, you sure you want to do that? They kept up with that. I'll never forget on the 25th anniversary of the Diamond Nationals, they decided they were going to give a silver ring for the junior boys form. Sammy got it. I was watching you on stage, and you just dang near cursed because you guys did. I don't think y'all knew that there was a ring on the line.
Yeah, they never would give rings to juniors, and then we asked.
And it was 2002. That was 2002.
And Larry Carnahan was like, "Nah, we're not. I can't afford that. We're not giving you guys."
And he didn't give a diamond. I don't think it was a diamond in it, but there was just like here's the ring. And you were like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, this is for a ring? I'm like, what? But I did get one for weapons. But it wasn't the same as the adult one because mine rusted up.
Yeah, we've
nice.
heard some stories about what happens with the rings. And yeah, we've heard some stuff. But we haven't won one.
No, I haven't won a diamond one. So,
I can look at yours, and that's about the extent of it.
That's right.
I think I've won 5 times as a junior, and I only got 1 ring out of those 5, and that's the one that rusted up.
Yeah.
So you won one as an adult, or you didn't win one as an adult?
I won one as an adult. I had luck at diamonds.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's talk about that. Yeah. So let's talk about, and really in NASCA, yes, okay, the U.S. Open is a big event. The Battle of Atlanta is a big legendary event. There's some other ones, but really,
AKA,
yeah. See, to me, I don't look at that, but now it is, yeah.
That's for me.
But the Diamonds was like the one, and I think a lot of it's because it was almost like the end of the year event too, It was October, November. It kind of flipped back and forth when we were growing up.
There wasn't really much happening after that.
I think that because I feel like the tournaments change. There's a few years where this tournament is the best, and then it falls off real bad, and then this tournament's the best. So I feel like it just depends on like what years you're talking about. Some are pretty consistent, but I think they judge us, and they have a scoring system for us. I feel like we should judge the tournaments. We should be deciding who gets a 6A, a 5A, a 4A.
Oh, definitely.
Not just off us, but based off of you can't say, oh, I had 1,200 competitors 7 years ago. Well, what about last year and the year before that?
Right.
I understand 1 year, the weather, there's like a hurricane and no one comes, or
coronavirus. Bring it, Matt.
But I think that there should be some, they should be judged too. They just keep adding. It used to be 3 A's, now it's 5 A's. Now what is it, 6, 7?
It's insane. 6 A's. I don't know. I mean, again, for me, I liked it when it was 3 A's, and then there was supposed to be double A's, but there was only like 2 double A's when I first started NASCA, 94, 95, 96. There's only 2 double A's. and then the rest were single A's. And it was like, and that was when it was a national championship. It didn't become
they started
a world.
this AAA business.
It didn't become a world championship till what, 98, 99. So, yeah. But yeah, no, I agree, man. It was, I mean, I definitely agree with that. And something I like that Karate Illustrated did back in the 80s was if you wanted to be a high level one, you had to have these top 5 competitors at your event.
Oh.
So they paid you to come to their event to, So the guys in the 70s and 80s are always telling me about it. And even the ones regionally, they're like, well, yeah, but for this tournament to be a top level regional, whatever, Karate Illustrated tournament, I got paid to show up. I'm like, all right, this is a whole different thing.
Yo, that would have been awesome. Imagine that.
I know.
In my tournament, I need to get my rating.
That's right.
I'll see what I could do.
Now, I know that some people got that, like I know that some promoters would take care of JV, of Valera, just to show up because it wasn't a JPM tournament, and they give them a hotel or in their flight or whatever just to be at their event. I know that because he is my coach. And
because we looked at him like his commas walked on water.
Right, that too. So there is some of that. And I still think some of that happens behind the scenes, and that's okay. That's up to promoters and whatever they want to do. But anyways, let's talk about the diamonds. We kind of got sidetracked, which it was a good sidetrack. But let's talk about just your struggles with the diamonds. What was maybe your toughest competition there, or maybe your toughest, like, heartbreaking year?
Well, I competed for a while, so I feel like it depends just what years you're talking about. Which era.
Let's say adults.
Adults?
Yeah.
And what year did you turn it up? It was 05, right? Like the end of 05, you turned it up. So really 2006?
2006, yeah, was my first adult year. 2006, was I in the night show? I think I was. Yes, 2006. I was in the night show, and I was like, you know what? I hate every adult form. I hate all of their forms. They play it safe. They're just trying to win. I was like, yo, I'm bringing it. I am going for it. And I did too many tricks, and I messed up. I did a running aerial. I was trying to do a Brandy statue, but like you normally see me do it. Like it was from like the front of the ring to the back.
Right.
And I just did so many tricks that I just ran out of endurance. So I ended up doing a running aerial. And technically, I didn't mess up. I just ran across the ring, did an aerial, bam, spun around, and finished my form. But I was just trying to throw as many tricks as possible. And then I remember Charlie Lee was like, "Yeah, Matt, you had the best tricks. You had the hardest form, but they were just better martial artists, and they were stronger." So my feelings were hurt. I'm like, all right, you know, I got to conform. I got to like make my form a little bit easier. And it was because I was losing and I was winning and lose. Like that whole my first adult year, I didn't do that. I didn't do good. So I was just trying to figure it out. And then by diamonds, I was like, I don't care. I'm going for it. So yeah, that was one of my favorite forms, but a little sloppy. Then the following year, I think
07?
07. I guess I just screwed up. I can't remember.
Mark won that one. In 2006, Marcel won. In 2007, it was Mark.
I think I messed up because I only remember Steve Trotta yelling at me, and he wasn't in the finals, so I must have beat him. He must have lost to me or Marcel or Mark. And then he was like, "You screwed up. It's because you did this and you got too nervous and your head." And he was like,
"Oh man,
it's for me." And he was right. I remember being like, "Damn," but I don't really remember the form. Then 2008, I broke my knee.
Yeah, you were out.
Diamonds that year. I was on fire.
Yeah, you were on fire, dude. No, like I put out a bunch of videos the other day of like sharing those. Like that year to me was just like, dude,
tell me about that.
It was insane.
Broke your knee.
Tricking.
Yeah.
Broke your knee.
I fractured my tibia plateau, damaged the ACL, meniscus, had muscle damage. 3 surgeries, and the following year I had another one, or 2, and then the following year I had 2 more surgeries, something like that.
So basically, that injury would have ended a normal man's regular day of life for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and that's what everybody was saying, actually.
I didn't know. I remember you had a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard it, it was like, yeah, man, Matt blew out his knee, which was correct. But it was a whole lot more than blew out his knee. When anyone tells me it blew out their knee, I was like, oh man, he tore his ACL, tore his MCL, tore his LCL, something like that. That's what I hear. No. You said 3 surgeries, broke your knee. So that didn't end your career. You had another near Hall of Fame career after that point.
Yeah.
I feel like, people say you peak and then that's it. I feel like I peaked 2003 when I was stuck for a while. And then 2008, I peaked again. I was on fire. Then I broke my knee. That took me out till 2010. So I missed after US Open on all of 2009. And then I came back like April, Ocean State, 2010. And then everyone was saying the same thing. Like a lot of times the judges, I wouldn't even ask. They would come up to me and say, Matt, we thought you were the best one in the division, but you weren't as good as you used to be. So that's why we gave you second. That's why we gave you third.
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, say that again?
Wait, what? Yeah.
Tell me this information. Like, I really think they were better. Why? So I'm competing against myself. So I was really upset. And then, I was competing.
That would just make me mad, man. I might just kick him in the groin and say, I mean, you judged, but you didn't judge as well as you did 5 years ago. So I just feel like I had to kick you in the nuts. I don't know. I just figured I'll let you know that.
But I think
you would kick me in the nuts with that poor score, I figured I'd kick you.
I think it helped me, though, because it made me angry.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'm angry for you right now.
Well, deep down, I knew I wasn't as good. Like, I was mad that I didn't win, but they were like, you used to be better. So I was like, I have to be better than I used to be. I can't be, like, not as good. So, and I feel like that took me till the end of 2010. I went to Guatemala, and they had this promo video because they flew me out to go to the tournament. And they had this promo video playing. It was on a loop. It was like maybe 30 seconds. Had Kalman, Austin, me. Boom. So I see one of my clips, and then it cuts to Kalman and another one of mine. And I was watching, and I'm like, wow, that was really fast. And like everyone that was talking to me, I was talking to them, and my eye would just like look over, and I'd see this video promo, and I'm like, wow, that was really strong. Well, I jumped really high. And then there was just something about it, and then maybe I just healed up, and I just had this fire. So I feel like after Guatemala, that tournament on, I kind of like back and was like, yo, I think I'm as good as I used to be. And then 2011, 12, I feel like
that was
again, and 13 even after competing. I feel like those were my best years.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember. I don't know if it was 2013. I was there 2013 and 2014. I think you were too at Diamonds, and you weren't even competing, and you were like,
you were there.
You were doing your forms and stuff, and everyone's sitting there like everyone's just sitting watching that, like, dude, he could win this whole freaking thing right now. Like, what the heck? And I remember that, and honestly, like, I still feel like that. I mean, even now, it's like when you put videos out, like, it's cool. And the thing is like top competitors need to feel like that. I feel like that. I feel like my stuff is still, people can't touch it, with kicking and stuff and everything that I do, and it's creative. And same thing with you. It's like, and I think some of it comes from that era that we grew up in, and it was just like, and this is something that I talked to Alex about too. It's like, you had that kind of, like you said, the people's champion thing, like the Forms people, we had that underdog kind of thing. We want that person. There's a person that we all want to knock off who's awesome. But then there's this other person that I know is working just as hard, and his judges just don't like him, right? Yeah. And we've all been that person for a while. Butch was that person for a long time, and we all wanted him to beat Jimmy Pham, even though we loved Jimmy Pham, but we all wanted him to beat him. And if you still talk to some people, they still think Butch was better than Jimmy Pham. When you go back and look, Jimmy Pham's pretty freaking awesome. You know? Like, he's so clean, he's so smooth.
But Butch was the people's guy.
But Butch was the people's guy. And it's the same thing, And so I think there's that for a lot of us, like for me, your forms, like everyone knew you as the nunchuck guy, right? But honestly, you end up becoming one of the best. It's hard for me to say the best just because I have so much respect for John. But, I've said it several times. I think you're the best forms, like extreme forms competitor there is, or not even extreme. I don't even want to put extreme, just open forms competitor.
Thank you.
And that's what's funny to me is that like you were the nunchuck guy, and still you still one of the greatest nunchuck. But honestly, I think your forms were actually in a lot of ways better because you just, I don't know, man. You always elevated it every year, and more in that, and you never held back on that. Weapons,
Jeff,
a little different.
Also, isn't it this though? Because we talked about this too. Like, there's certain guys. Like, okay, Matt, you remember this at the World Series of Martial Arts, the Charlie Lee Nationals, guys would just go having nothing to do with the competition, just to do the offstage tricking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're the nunchuck guy, right? So weapons is already secured. Bam, got that locked. All right. Your musical and your extreme open, whatever you want to call it. Bam, that's locked because you're there. Your choreography on point. But there's guys that they just all they're gonna do is trick. All right.
Yeah.
How about Drake Graham, Anis Tuerfa? We've already Steve Torada, Atkins.
Yeah.
All the list goes on and on. All right, you're right there with them. All right, Guthrie. All right, you're right there with them all. Yet you're still checking off all these boxes. Tell me, am I saying something wrong?
No, man. I don't think so.
Okay.
He was killing it and everything. Yeah, I mean, again, I think that's why people had that respect for you. You were the people's champion because you could do it all, you know? And here's something else, too. Like, when I was the captain of Team Elite, we were trying to find another junior. I'm like, and Matt actually was not on the team yet. And I was, like, pushing to get Matt. And my sponsor was like, yeah, but he doesn't fight. I'm like, he's ranked number 2 in fighting.
Yo,
he used to spar and he was really good.
Shut the front door.
I used to spar, but I hated that. Well, originally my thing was sparring, actually. And then in my karate school, we used to spar every class. And then somehow, I guess my school got bigger, and then sparring became on Wednesdays. I had to go to religion class, so I stopped sparring. Then I wasn't as good. Then I got it back, then I started doing NASCA. But I hated it because I wanted to get exposure. I wanted to make it to the night show. I wanted to show everyone my nunchuck skills, show everyone, see what they thought. So that was my goal, make it to the nighttime show. And then, of course, eventually win it. And you go to these runoffs, and they're waiting for the 10 and 11 division, which is like usually packed. And they have to wait for me to finish sparring so they can start runoffs. So everyone was waiting on me. And I wasn't like Matt Emig. I was just some random little kid that everyone was pissed off at because they had to wait around. I was holding up runoffs. So I was always like stressed out sparring. After like a fight or two, I would kind of not care anymore. I'd be like, I got to get ready for nunchucks. Look, I would see everybody warming up. And then I guess my passion was more the weapons. So I was like, forget it.
Yeah.
Stop doing it.
Yeah. But man, I know.
The ultimate threat, man.
Jonathan
Hillman used to beat me down.
Jonathan Hillman was a good fighter, man.
Yeah, he did. Every time.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was what I remember. And so, I mean, I pushed hard for that. There was funny ones that I was like, all right, we got to get Matt. We got to get him. And that was the only thing. Yeah, and that was the only thing that Spencer was like, I need a youth fighter, though, because we're losing this person or whatever. And because I think Jonathan Hillman had decided to quit karate after that. And so I was like, dude, we need Matt. Like, come on. but yeah, so let's get into, all right, so maybe your top 3 favorite performances, and then we'll talk about how you got into the stunt thing and then go into our competitors of the week.
Yeah, I heard you talk about this earlier this week, so.
Yeah, I was talking about it. French Open 3 for forms.
Yes.
Probably French Open 3 for weapons. There's a couple good weapons forms that year. But that's when I changed my format up for Chuck, so I liked that I was doing something different. Everyone was sick of me. I wasn't the people's guy. I'm like, I need to do something to entertain everybody, Definitely U.S. Open 2008 for forms.
Yes.
What else?
I like the one that I saw was the Quebec Open 2008 for weapons, that video, but I don't know if you might have done some other ones throughout that year, but that was right before your injury. So that form was cool because you did all the releases and then you also did the between the legs during the B-twist and stuff.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one was pretty good. I mean, you got different memories, and sometimes like you win, like some of my fancier titles, I kind of don't even respect my form. I'm like, it sucked. It wasn't even that good. I won. I'm happy. I got it.
Right.
I'm glad I checked that off. And then some of the times where I lost, I think, was some of my better forms. But definitely the French Opens, definitely U.S. Open, like all the U.S. Opens. There's one that a lot of people don't talk about, Compete Nationals 2003. That's the first time I had to go against Sammy. That's what kind of started the whole war. I freestyled that for him. It was a complete freestyle. I think it's still on YouTube. Compete Nationals 2000.
I'm gonna look this one up.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mess up at the end. I fall, but even with the fall, it's still one of my favorites.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, it because it had a point and it had like a struggle that you were going through and you got over it and you found and it like it changed you. You know, like it sparked something new for that year that made you like the man. So that's cool, man.
So I got a question. So, and then Jeff, you said we were going to segue to this. So let's get to, okay, you're a New Yorker. You're Long Island, okay? Yep. You go to LA, right? The LA-ish area, and you're going to pursue the silver screen. Okay, so when did you move out there? You said it's 2010?
Yeah, the end of 2010.
What connections did you end up creating? I mean, you had to know, you knew some guys that we all kind of know in our somewhat circle that were there. Talk to me. How did this happen?
So end of 2010, I went to LA. Anish Churfa and Jeremy Marinas were just starting to get into movies.
Anish is from France, but everybody just kind of accepts as this phenomenal tricker and stunt guy for a long time, who's 18
I think
and a half
they moved
feet tall.
in 2009, right? I think they moved around 8 or 9 or something. Yeah.
Like 2008, I think Jeremy and Anish were out there. Before that was Jackson Spidell.
Right.
All right, yeah.
Now, and then after Jeremy and Anish, Danny Graham came out, Sammy Vasquez. Yes, and I was just like, I want to do this too, so I came out. Yeah, and that was it.
What was your first?
I'm guessing you got in front of someone who got you in front of somebody else, or how did that go?
Well, I guess one of my mentors out here now, Jonathan Asabio, he's a big fight coordinator, stunt coordinator, and now second unit director. He asked me to come into 87, which is a private gym. I guess because of John Blair. I guess he knew me and Jeremy Marinas. So then, Jeremy actually told me like super early in the morning, woke me up. I want to say it's like 5:30 in the morning. He's like, yo, they requested you. You got to come in. I'm like, what? What does that even mean? Requested me? What is this, like an audition or like a job interview? I don't understand. And he's like, just shut up. Come on, just go. Let's go. So then
You've been sent for.
I got sent for, yeah. And I think he just wanted to meet me. He heard of me, I guess through JV and through Jeremy and Anish. And then I went there and Jeremy was there, Anish was there, Jackson Spidell was there, Danny Graham was there. And I just kind of met them and just helped out. And they were filming Avengers. At that time, I didn't even know what the Avengers were. That was just a couple Marvel movies out, like maybe Iron Man 2. Maybe Thor came out already.
Right.
I didn't even know. I remember telling my younger brother afterwards. And he was like, you don't even know the Avengers? He's like, oh, he was yelling at me. He's like, have you not been paying attention to the end of these movies? They're building up to one big movie. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, yeah. And I can't really talk about what happened. But obviously I knew a little bit, like there was Captain America in it and stuff. And I was just playing like a little bad guy. I didn't really know much. And I was just helping out. And then when they didn't need me, they would just be like, go in the corner, practice this. And I'd come back, maybe I'd go in the corner and practice this. They'd just give me things to practice. And that was it. So
that's pretty dope.
Into stunts. You just basically have to make connections, meet people, meet coordinators, and then the coordinators. They're the ones that hire you. Yeah.
So what's that? Yeah, what's that world like? Because all right, so we all think of it as one thing, and we're like, oh, I do stunts, but really there's people that do stunts, or people that do like crash scenes. There's all kinds of lingo and stuff. I listen to Jamcast, and so I hear some of the stuff. I'm like, all right, I didn't realize that there was that much difference between this, and this. So what is it that you do and specialize in?
Well, you start as a stunt performer, and then sometimes you could perform or be like a fight team. A lot of times I got credited as fight team, which basically means you're training the actors and actresses. You're sometimes training other stunt people if there's a skill that they can't do. You're choreographing fights. You're shooting previs. a previs is a pre-visual. So you don't just show up on the day you're shooting a movie and just say, all right, let's shoot a fight scene. Let's do it. You know, you shoot we shoot a mini fight scene on our own with our own cameras in a rehearsal space. And then we edit it, put VFX, sound effects, present the stunt coordinator or the fight coordinator will present that to the director. So basically it goes stunt performer, sometimes fight choreographer, but fight coordinator, stunt coordinator, and then the stunt coordinator is the boss. Then they hand it into the director. Then they make notes on it because you don't realize there's a lot of story points within a fight.
Right. Yeah.
Within a fight, it's not just fights. It's not just cool moves. There's a lot of story points. There's a lot of storytelling that has to be told. So we'll present a previs, and then they'll give notes. Then we go back and redo it, redo it, redo it, redo it. Sometimes it's cool because you can play a part that you'll never actually play because of your skin color or your height. Because sometimes those doubles are actually on set filming another scene, and you're shooting a previs. You know, so a lot of times we're prevising, we're training actors, we're training ourselves. Sometimes we're just performing. Sometimes you're choreographing. So that's what a lot of what I do.
So this is your world.
It kind of feels like NASCAR. In NASCAR, you know, or in sport karate, you win first place, but it's not enough. Then you got to make it to the runoffs, make it to the night show. And then that's not enough. You got to win the night show. And then that's not enough because you won a smaller NASCAR tournament.
Right.
And then you win the bigger NASCAR tournament, but your main competition wasn't there. So you don't count that. And then your main competition is there, but they messed up. So you still don't count that. Then you beat your main competition and you win the Diamonds or the US Open or the Super Grands, but you only did it once. So now you got to do it again. That's kind of how I feel like it is in movies, you know?
That's
you do
cool.
a movie, but you're only as good as your last movie. And you don't know if it's going to turn out well. I mean, if you do a Marvel movie, it's probably going to be good because most of them are really good. But you never know how a movie is going to turn out. So you're just trying to constantly work, constantly get higher job positions or cooler job positions. Sometimes you do cool stuff, but they cut it.
Yeah.
You know? You're
only so I got a question.
That's cool.
So many of the guys in our circle who make it pretty dang high, like yourself, they find themselves doing the stunts. And then the next level is stunt choreography. And I feel like we're diverting rather than going to the next level after that. Right?
Well,
dude, I'm not anywhere near any of this. I'm not going to sniff any of this. All right? But what I'm wondering is, is really all that's missing between you and the guy who's normally on the screen is lines? Like, do you have the charisma to be able to do that? Can you do it? I feel like, yeah. So you tell me, man. I'm not there.
Acting's hard, man, you know? As a
stunt performer, I know it's hard.
As a stunt performer, you do have to act. You know, there's a lot of acting. But it's hard for me remembering my lines. And, you know, I've had a few parts. Like sometimes as a stunt performer, you get a line. Like instead of hiring another actor for the day, sometimes I had to deliver lines. It's pretty scary. You just got to do it. You suck it up. But
time out. How in the world can that be scary for you? You have been on a stage, thousands of times. Okay.
But at the same time, that's his comfort zone. That's his comfort zone.
Lots of people looking at you saying, "I dare you to mess up," and you never do. How is saying a couple of lines scary? Because you know, here's the thing, and you know, don't even say this not true. Everybody's fake. So if you mess up, they're not going to say you actually mess up. They're just going to go, yeah, okay, moving on, next guy, right? Tell me I'm right.
Sometimes, I mean, they might not be able to get what they want out of your performance. They'll be like, nah, don't twitch your eyes, do this, I want it like that. You know, sometimes it could be tough. Okay. It's harder than you think acting. I mean,
how much does that hurt? It doesn't hurt. Who cares? Matt, what I'm trying to say is, dude, you could be the guy, man.
I mean, maybe, but, you know.
Why can't you be the next short Ryan Gosling? I don't know. I'm just saying, right?
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, Ryan Gosling busts out with a flash kick.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that sounds fun. All right. Wow. So anyways, so everything's going good for it. Let's just mention a couple of names for our audience of like maybe 3 big movies that you've been a part of, or I don't care, 4 or 5.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah.
I got a story for this one. Go ahead.
I recently just did Birds of Prey. It just came out. It's the Harley Quinn movie.
Yes.
Nice. What did you do?
So again, I was fight team. I was choreographing and I was training the actresses, pre-visiting. But then I was also performing. There's different gangs, and our gang, the Essex gang, we were like martial art nerds. We had masks on, but in our gang, it was Anis Churfa with a sword. It was Craig Henningsen with the Tompas. We had Ross Constam. We had Micah Carnes and myself.
Wow.
So
That's pretty,
you're basically at an ASCA tournament, just hanging out.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's
wild.
cool.
They cut a lot of our scene out, but there's one where we pose, and you can see us all with like sword, nunchuck, staffs.
So,
cool.
like, we'll be able to tell. Oh yeah, I know. I can see.
Yeah.
He's got a mask, but I know.
That's right.
Yeah, it was just
cool.
fun that we grew up together, and then we all got to perform.
Yeah, I saw those
the scene.
pictures that you guys put out. Was it last year, right?
Yeah. Came out
yeah.
this year.
Right.
We shot it this year.
Yeah, that was pretty
That's why
cool.
this thing is a brotherhood.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
And then Ninja Turtles was probably like one that you were really excited about, right?
Yeah, Birds of Prey was exciting. Black Panther was exciting because it's my first Marvel movie and it's Black Panther. Deadpool 2 was awesome because Deadpool 2. I was only on there for like a month and a half, but it was awesome. Ninja Turtles was amazing because it came full circle, you know?
Yeah.
I started martial arts because of the Ninja Turtles, and then I ended up being in a Ninja Turtle movie. So the movie came out okay. Both movies are like the originals are way better.
Yeah, I'd say they came out all right.
But you know, I was just happy that I could say I did that. You know.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Now,
and you didn't
real
have
quick
to put
about
on
that.
the crazy suit, like. Well, the suit wasn't as crazy as the old one, right? That they had to wear in the.
Yeah, I wish I had. You know, back in the day, we'd get autographs and they'd have like the guy with his helmet off. And his mask, and then he's just like sitting there. I wish I had one of those photos. But yeah, it's just CGI. So you wear a mocap suit, which is like wearing Under Armour.
Right.
I remember. Who was it? Larry Lamb. He was one of in the original Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
He had the full thing.
Yeah,
with the head on.
he would show up at Battle of Atlanta and do autographs. Yeah.
Dude, I got one of them.
Yeah,
me too.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Now I know a Ninja Turtle. So
it's pretty awesome.
I don't know if you remember this.
Diamond.
So you know what I'm about to talk about?
Yeah.
I love that you know exactly. So Jeff, you brought this up. You were like, yeah, I remember like at the time it was like 2014, and we were looking around like, dude, he probably could have won this thing. So there's always an after party at the Diamonds, right? JLB Productions is John Worley, Larry Carnahan, Bill Dunkley. They at least make sure they have like an after party where it's just like it's chill. We have tons of food. You got drinks. Larry Carnahan and John Worley always pass around drink tickets. You don't have to buy nothing. You just hang out long enough. This is pass you drink tickets. Matt, am I lying?
Yeah, no, that's how it is. You're not lying.
Yeah. They just hang out. You just sit there. You just chopping up, just hanging out with guys. All of a sudden, 3 drink tickets land in your lap. And it's John Worley just patting you on the back saying, love to have you here. You didn't even compete, right? Now I show up. My wife is bored. She's like, what in the world are we doing here? I don't really care. Can we just go home? I see Matt, and I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? She's not even paying attention to what's going on, right? She's ready to leave like an hour ago. And I said, hey, I want you to meet my friend Matt. Hey, do you remember the new Ninja Turtles movie? He was Master Splinter in the movie. Instantly coolest guy in the room. Yeah. I was nothing. She saw Matt. Do you remember? And she was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Tell me more about this. And the two of them went on and on, had a conversation for a while. Do you remember this?
I do remember, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh man. All right, Alex, let's get into our competitors of the week, man. And they'll kind of have some things. I'll go first. So you kind of already mentioned them, but I'll tell my story about them, and I want you to kind of tell what you know and remember about them as well, Matt. But so Craig Henningsen is my competitor of the week, and so Craig, what's funny with Craig is I remember him from when he first moved up as a black belt. 99, 2000, when we started doing NBL. And he was really coming up high in the NBL system and started becoming, top level in his division. Him and I went to WKA in Austria together, and he got 2 silvers behind myself. He was younger than me then, he was like 14, I was 17. We were good friends. And then I'm thinking it was 04, 05, 06 when he just started competing NASCA big time. And I guess the reemergence of Team Chat kind of came up again, right? Because he wore the no sleeves kind of thing. And Craig
Team
became the
Revolution.
man. Yeah. What was it? Revolution, right?
Team
Yeah.
Revolution, I think.
Yeah. So he kind of became the man, and always loved Craig, was a great kid, great competitor. Amazing martial artist, great clean techniques. He was one of the first ones I saw that added all the sound effects in besides Kim Do. Like other than Kim Do, he added all he put all the into his form, which, NBL guys threw a fit because that's not real choreography. So that was funny to see. And then Craig has kind of gone into the same thing as you, kind of actually did it, like you were saying before, right? He was doing it before you. So would love to hear what you think about Craig and your experience with him as competition-wise and now.
Well, it's funny. We worked together on Birds of Prey.
Right.
And then now, for like the last 8 months, I live about 10 minutes away from his house.
Oh,
So we
wow.
hang out every Wednesday, or we were,
Yeah,
before this whole thing happened. Every Wednesday we'd meet up.
that's cool.
Yeah, but me and Craig, we met back at Sharky School, Camp Chat. It
Yeah.
was winter camp to get ready for the new year. I was the youngest one in there. And then all of a sudden Craig came in. He didn't compete yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's this other little kid right now? And then you start getting more competitive. You're like, oh, man, I got to step it up. But then he started competing and he was awesome. And then I feel like 2004, 2005, he was a main threat for me competition-wise. And I think 2005, he was really on fire.
Yeah.
So I remember he won the U.S. Open that year.
Yes, that was the year he won the U.S. Open. Yeah. Yeah. And for me, like, that was weird because, all right, if you coming from another circuit into that, it takes you a little bit of that kind of phase, right? I've been back and forth, and so for him to be able to do that pretty quick was pretty, like, honestly, I was like, oh, wow, that's, he's beating Matt really, because WSKF was 2004. So really within like a year of being really focusing solely on NASCA, he was winning. And that's rare for a lot of people that come from another circuit to it, especially at that time too. So that was something I just remember.
I think it's not just about competing, like being the best on NBL. Because I think he transitioned nice because he was just good enough to compete anywhere.
Oh, yeah,
not
big
just
time.
for those tournaments. Because some people compete in tournaments and they're the best in those tournaments.
Right.
And you go somewhere else and you're not the best. So I feel like he transitioned nice because it was just,
yeah,
really, really good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we see it a lot with people before that were good at NASCA traditional forms and could not do well at NBL or at WKF, and then now eventually they've found ways to do it. And it was the same thing, like Craig did the international circuits with WKA and stuff back then, so he kind of was well rounded. So was a great guy, and loved growing up with him. So that was my competitor of the week, Craig Henningsen.
Craig's the man.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with mine. And I don't know if you know this kid. He's a junior. All right. Currently competing. His name's Enzo Lucatorto. Okay. And that's fine. Yeah. He's the reason I chose him is because he's an up and comer and he does chucks. And he kind of does it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, dude,
you gotta send me a
the chucks guy. He's won a couple of WKC gold medals. He's not the top in his division, but he's getting closer. He's in the 14-15 division. So if he was Matt Emig, he'd already be like world renowned, but he's not right now. So so yeah, he's on the up, but he's on on the come up. He's super talented, this kid. And y'all who know him are gonna talk about him, but I'll just toot his horn for right now since he's not here. And he's my competitor of the week. So, like I mentioned, he's won a couple of WKC gold medals. He really kind of is like a really good tricker, not at the top of his game. He's like at the top of the game, but like all the time, I'm telling him like, no, man. You understand. You got to be a little bit more creative. See, if you were like Steve Terada, if you were like Matt Emig, it'd be a little different. And so the game has surpassed me so much right now that I need to reference guys like y'all to even have some kind of footing, right? Because it's gone. It's beyond me. All right.
Yeah.
But no. So I really think about that. So and we talked about this earlier in the show. Like, man, on the guys who are chucking on the come up. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving props to Enzo. But who are other guys? If you have not heard of Enzo, all right, Google them, YouTube them. But who are guys that you know that are maybe on the come up as far as chuckers?
I don't know if they're on the come up because I feel like everybody already knows them. But Sammy Smith, Danny Ekin.
Yeah, they're not on the come up. They're up.
Yeah, they're up, I guess. I guess they don't count. I don't know then. I haven't been watching Chuck videos, I guess. You got to send me some links. I don't know. I don't know who's on the come up.
That's cool. Then Enzo is the guy.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
I'm gonna tell you. Here's what, and he's gonna be mad that I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna say this. So, spoiler alert: a name like Enzo Luca Torto, he's a paisan like myself. He's Italian. Okay. And if you've ever seen the commercial with the Diet Dr. Pepper, he looks exactly like Lil Sweet. Right? No, I'm not even kidding you. This kid's hair. I'm jealous of this kid's hair. Like right now, you don't see me with because I'm wearing this hat because I have quarantine hair right now. All right, we all know what that's like. All right.
Yeah.
Jeff has normal.
I had to shave mine because of it. Yeah.
See, I can't do that. No. See, like, and Matt, see, you didn't do that either. You're just waiting, like, give me the clearance and I'm gonna go get my hair cut. Right? No, I'm the same way. Yeah, homie, I'm with you right now. This dude, if I had curly locks like this guy, I would own the heck out of it. Wow. This dude looks exactly like Lil Sweet, and I love it. He hates it when I say it, but he does. That's funny. I swear.
That's funny. Oh, man. All right. Well, this was good, man. Matt, how would you like to end this? What kind of motivational advice? What do you want to end this on? And for competitors, for people listening, what do you think?
That's how we end it, man. When we have guests on, this is your voice message to the world. Everybody listening to our podcast, everybody across the world listens to our podcast anyway. So your voice message to the martial arts world, all right, how would that be? 1, 2, 3, world, we give you Matt Emig.
I don't know what to say. I know I'm supposed to say something really clever. But no, like we talked about, it's not just about winning. Create moments. Be the people's champ. Train hard. Push yourself. Be in competition with yourself, not just your competitors.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself. Just keep pushing. Don't stop. Many times I wanted to quit, and I didn't. And, I accomplished a lot. From when I first started till now, I just kept going. At times you feel down. At times it doesn't feel like you're advancing. Doesn't feel like you're improving. You just got to keep pushing every day. Just keep going. Do something to help yourself out for your career, for your martial arts skills every day. Try something. Learn something. Yeah, because if I would have quit, like there's so much stuff I wouldn't have done. So many times, like. I don't know. I just kept going. Now I'm doing stunts, and I'm gonna keep pushing till the end, till I die. So I'm still gonna be training martial arts till the very end. So the same as everybody else, just never quit.
Love it, man. Love it. Where can everyone follow you at?
You can follow me at Matt Emig. That's on Instagram, YouTube. It's Matt Emig, same thing. And I have a TikTok now, Matt Emig too.
There you go.
All right, now that I start to pay attention to the tiki-taki, All right, I'll
We'll
look
be
for you on
watching
the
it.
tiki-taki.
Awesome.
Jeff,
awesome.
you had a TikTok video not that long ago, dude. That thing was dope the way you were kicking.
Thanks,
You're on
man.
I
TikTok?
like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Matt, you didn't see this?
Yeah, yeah.
This
see
dude,
it.
Yeah.
that's like the only reason I found out what the heck TikTok was.
What's your username?
He had one video where he did a kick combo to NF, the search. And I knew
Nice.
the song, so I was like, no. And then he just did one recently, dude. It was
Yeah, it's Jeff.
we
Jeff
already know
Doss
Jeff's
30.
the best kicker.
Jeff Doss
Jeff is
30.
the best standing kicker in Form's history. All right, even though he didn't put himself as the best kicker in Form's history. All right, this dude's good. Hey, who would you say? No. Since we just mentioned that, Jeff,
Oh God.
I don't care.
I'll look for the
Who
video
would
right now.
who would you say, Matt, is the best standing kicker in sport karate history in Forms?
You definitely have to put Jeff Doss up there. Stephen Horse, maybe.
You
Right?
did. We had
Yeah.
a top 20.
Yeah.
And
Like chat.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, maybe.
He was in there. Yeah.
who would you say, like, as you just take a moment to think about it, who would you say, like, yeah, this person's probably the best?
Trying to think. We're talking like multiple kicks, machine gun
Yeah.
kick, or just
Yeah.
Whatever. No, man, it's
Or
whatever.
just standing kicks. Yeah.
Standing kick. You're standing and you throw a kick and you're like, damn.
Stephanie Flowers.
Yeah.
Who's number one?
I'm gonna go with Jeff Doss.
Hush. You are crazy.
So we had John Chung on the show.
John Chung.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, John Chung was on
Yeah.
the list.
He was on the show. Yeah.
Jeff put Kingston Ing number one on the list.
He's before my time. I don't really remember
Yeah.
him.
Now,
Yeah.
Kingston was no freaking joke.
He was
Right? Jeff put himself number two. He wouldn't put himself number one. John Chung is the nicest guy ever. John Chung is low key. He's savage too. John Chung is like, yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's kind of soft though. I don't know if I'd put him number one. He's pretty soft.
Oh,
And I think John
And that
Chung
was
was like
a
one
student.
step away from saying, Jeff, you're an idiot. You should put yourself number one.
Yeah. That was funny.
who else did John
Oh.
say?
Yeah.
Go back and listen to that. If you ever want to, go back. You can
Yeah, I
follow
gotta find it.
Inside Scoop on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on a
Yeah,
lot of
that
different
one.
platforms.
That one was titled "John Furnette's Kicks Were Soft."
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Because that actually came out of John's mouth. So
Yeah. He said that.
yeah.
Damn.
He didn't really care. He's like the nicest guy ever. But he's like, no way. Oh, wait, but before we go, I gotta say this. So we were talking about, and I know you're gonna remember this too, because I can just tell that your memory's like that. So we were talking about Charlie Lee, and I'll never forget this moment. I just remember thinking, as I saw you up there, like, this is an incredible moment that I'm never gonna forget, and I'm not even the one experiencing it. Jun Ree.
No.
You know exactly what I'm saying, don't you? You know all I said was
Yeah.
his name. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it, or do you
No,
want me to
go
do it?
ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
All right. So we're at the World Series of Martial Arts. Jun Ree always is notorious for doing the 100 push-ups in under a minute. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had just gotten orders from the doctor, like, I don't know, like a couple months before, like, all right, June, all right, you're 174 years old. You got to stop doing that. All right. You can't do that anymore. Okay. So, but he's still at the tournament. And martial arts today would not look the way it does without Jun Ree. And Charlie Lee is a descendant of Jun Ree, literally one of his students, right? Just like John Chung was. Okay. Dude's got his own tournament, right? He's got Jun Ree at his tournament. So he says, nobody can block my punch. It's so fast. So Jun Ree's on the stage. It's in the finals. He's on the stage. And he tells Charlie Lee, and he says, Charlie Lee, get the fastest person in the building.
Is that what he
Fastest
said?
person.
I don't remember that part. He said that?
He said, I need the fastest person. And Charlie Lee, he didn't know he was going to do this, I don't think. Charlie Lee's looking around and he goes, Matt Emig, come here. And he calls Matt Emig up to the stage. And what did he do? He was just like, he told you to block a punch, or how did this go?
He he said that he's faster. And I'm like, yo, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Like, this is not rehearsed. It's not like we have a plan. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm looking at everybody. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, yo, are they laughing at me? Like, or is this just funny, like, situation? I'm like, oh, man. And then basically, he's like, put your hands up. I'm like, all right. So put my hands up.
This is like 2007, right?
This is 2007. Yeah, I think so. He repositioned my hands to a different fighting stance. So my lead hand was a little bit lower. And then he was like, try to block my punch. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, yo, do I do it? Do I like, oh, I don't even know what to do. And then, he positioned my hand lower, so it was harder to block. And then he was faster, and he was like, all right, let's do it again. Then he faked me out. I moved my hand. I flinched. Everyone started laughing. Then he backed this me in the head. Then he pulled out money, I think. And I was like, here's the incentive for young kids. Here's some money. If you could block my punch, I'll give you this money. I'm like, what? I'm like, everyone's laughing. And I think he did it again. And that was it. And I had to get off the stage and then compete. And the judges are everyone's laughing. Then like 10 minutes later, I have to go up on the stage and perform. No one's taking me serious. I'm the guy who couldn't block a punch,
That's messed up. They sabotaged you.
Sabotaged me. And my hands were repositioned, it was a harder fighting stance. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't expect him to fake me out. It's like we're really sparring. It's like, yo, I'm going to get punched right now? Is this really going to happen? Like, I don't know. But yeah, that was embarrassing.
Cool. So if you really think about it, man, you're just connected to just everybody. All right. The 7 degrees, not the 7 degrees of Matthew McConaughey. It's the 7 degrees of Matt Emig.
Very true. Oh, man.
Man, I loved having you on the show.
Yes.
This is absolutely wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
We do this again. We do this again. Would you come back on the show?
Yeah, we'll do it again. Let's do it.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We'll do like a tournament preview once tournaments actually exist again.
That's right. Oh, man. All right.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff and Matt Emig. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.
This is the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jess.